Every place you step in, it has to be blessed. And every place, it's always good to settle some prayers for the good future of the space. We also do the ritual, which is praying, singing, or dancing.
Hi, I'm Tiffany Bradley, and this is Colored Criticism. We're here today in Harlem visiting the Museum of Impact. This 5-day pop-up features art and activism. We'll be talking with artists, curators, and activists who bring the space to life. Let's go. Can you tell us how this whole project got started?
When I was teaching preschool, I became very heavy-hearted at the killings that were happening to Black and brown people across the country. And my kids, my students were asking me, what happened? Why would they kill this little boy? And I didn't have the words to tell them. And I had to figure out a way to help them process this as we grieve together. That seed of teaching people social justice activism stayed with me and transformed into this exhibit.
So you describe yourself as a museum anarchist. How do you think that museums need to change and evolve?
Museums need to really become a third space, a living room that's ripe for discussion, for community engagement, for active art making, for processing the social issues of the day. It's not just us narrating to them, here's what's important and here's why. We want them to interact.
Why do you think it's important for museums to respond to this political moment?
This is a moment in time that separates people's character and people's actions from the rhetoric. So to see so much violence, vigilantism, brutality, human rights injustices, and not use the platform that you have to make a difference is unconscionable to me. We see people kind of processing and reactivating that sense of, this isn't right. Something has to be done and I have to do it.
Tell us about one of your favorite pieces in the exhibition.
Sure. Well, there's so many pieces that have been generously donated to us, done by photographers and artists. But one of my favorite pieces is this one right behind me. It's a picture of a power fist, often used in the Black Power movement and beyond. There's these upside down United States of America silhouettes that show the miscarriages of justice. At the bottom of it, there's pictures of activists that are actively marching, protesting, demonstrating, and it just has so much energy and so much life. I feel like it's a piece that everyone can resonate with and get behind.
Can you tell us why storytelling is important?
Storytelling has a really incredible power to quickly create meaningful and deep connections between people through the act of sharing our personal stories.
What impact do you want the project to have?
I'm hoping that people who come and participate tonight are going to make some new friends, connect with neighbors. We're doing a story circle, so people are going to be sharing stories and ideas. All of the storytellers are people who are doing really wonderful work in this neighborhood, and we're amplifying the work that they're doing and helping people find ways that they can support.
So my name is Julian, and I'm from Harlem. Having a connection to where you may be from in the present, or really creating space for our young people to identify what it is that they own, I think for me, is really the start of my own story. My mother is from the Bahamas. It's a beautiful island from a very, very small part. My dad is from a small town outside of Buffalo. But I would say my twin sister, who's not here with me, we're from Harlem. I say it that way because I think a lot of how I show up now is just based on the stories, the influences that I've had, the experiences that I've had, but always prioritizing feelings over the words that sometimes we don't have access to experience it. Because there's a lot of young people who are walking out here just with a lot of affirmations, but also a lot of strong feelings of things that are not right and don't always have the people around them to tell them that not only are you right, but you have the power to change that.
Why is it important to commemorate Manuel Diaz and Sandra Bland together?
The Window Project was born out of a desire to inform our community in Corona about what was happening with the police and also to challenge anti-Black racism within the immigrant community. And so we are trying to use our storefront window as a way to open up space of dialogue and as a departure point to build solidarity.
There are not a lot of public spaces in Corona where people can get together and talk about these issues. They're really hard conversations to have. So we're hoping that our window will serve that purpose.
Our first window was Eric Gardner and Jesse Hernandez, and our second window is Manuel Diaz and Sandra Bland, and they all represent different members and different parts of the multiple communities we belong to.
How would you describe your curatorial process for this whole exhibition?
The goal of any sort of curating is to contextualize the art and to present it to the audience. So it was about taking this art, which is very visceral in many ways, and presenting it as far as it being a political message to the neighborhood that we brought it to here in Harlem.
And can you talk a little bit about the use of hashtags?
We're showing how these things that have begun as internet activism are full movements at this point.
Thanks to all of our friends at the Museum of Impact. How do you share your art and activism? Let us know in the comments below.